Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Weatherboys podcast. I am Derek Kevra. That is Alan Longstreet. Together, we make up the Weatherboys, and this is our podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hey, buddy.
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
I'm feeling
a little snippy.
Are you
feeling a little snippy? Because I feel like you're a little snippy today.
Do I seem a little snippy?
You seem a little snippy. Do you want to tell us what's going on?
There's nothing going on.
You don't want to tell us?
I like the energy of our guest today,
Yeah.
and so I feel like I'm already riffing.
Yeah. Oh, she's.
Is that strange to say? But I feel like it's going to be a good energy.
Well, we'll have to ask her if she's okay with you riffing.
Okay.
With you, yeah.
You look nice and comfortable. Did you hit the gym already, or are you going to go after this?
Yeah. No, of course. Are you kidding me? I'm an AM. If it gets to the PM hours, I'm not going to the gym. Too many people there.
And I'm the opposite.
Yeah, you're a PM kind of guy.
Well, yeah, I find.
Yeah.
You know what it is for me? I diagnosed this about myself just yesterday.
Please, yes.
Is I need a deadline.
Sure.
And my kids get off the bus, so I don't go to the gym. I don't have that kind of money. I don't have Alan Longstreet money.
Well, yeah, I could give you some if you want.
Also, like a gym membership,
Yeah.
it's like $10 a month now.
Oh, for sure.
But I work out in the basement. We got a treadmill and some workout stuff in the basement. And I always stall until it's like 3:30.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I have an hour to get this done, shower, and get the kids from the bus stop. And that's what motivates me.
There you go. You got to do it, man. You're like Indiana Jones when he goes underneath the closing door and then he grabs his hat on the other side.
That's it.
That's what you are.
Everybody calls me Indiana.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So are you going to work out today? What are you going to do? Work on the guns, or is that they're too big already?
I have had to go up in suit size because the
shoulders. I know. Yeah, me and the guest we've been talking about those shoulder boulders. We did. She walked in and she's like, "Where is he? I need to see them." And she asked if she could touch them. And I said, we're going to have to ask him. And I know he's going to say yes.
Can I ask you a question about something that I saw on the internet that you posted?
Yeah. Please. Yeah.
I
get nervous because I post and then I don't remember it.
It's allowance for the kids.
Oh, sure.
And you are paying your oldest daughter.
Oh, yeah.
To do your younger daughter's hair.
Yeah. Yes. It's just, it's not we don't do allowance, but when the moment arrives and, I think that the juice is worth the squeeze. I'm like, yeah, I'll give you $2 to do that. But the problem then becomes, we agreed to it that one time, and she takes it to mean every time. So she's like, I also did her hair 8,000 times last weekend, so you owe me $16,000. And I'm exaggerating slightly, but yeah. So, but it's been good. It's I have 3 girls and they love each other and they love to hate each other, and so this is a unifying situation for us all.
You're very smart to do this.
It's great. Yeah, thank you.
This is one of those parent hacks that you've mastered this because. It's one less thing that you have to do.
For sure.
It's one less fight you have to have.
Oh, yeah.
And it does speed up the process because you don't have to go individual girl by girl.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of help. I think it's brilliant. I think you've done awesome.
Yeah, it's so far so good. I'm pleased with it.
My kids are starting to get into that allowance, or we also don't do allowance, but we do pay them for certain chores.
Sure.
Some chores are household chores. We have to do those.
Stay away from me, and you give them some money. Give Daddy a week off, please.
Yeah, and I'll make it worth your while.
For sure.
No, some things are like cleaning your room. That's a family chore. You got to clean your own room, and you don't get paid for that.
How often do they have to clean it?
Once a week on Sundays.
Okay,
they got to straighten it up.
Once a week straight. Okay, that's once a week. That's fair.
And then we have started doing, and we've struggled with this because initially we were like, oh, we're going to make them do toilets and vacuum and sweep. And honestly, it becomes more of a hassle for us.
For sure.
As parents.
Yep.
But we have started introducing, they have to do dishes. They do the dishes now every night.
The dishes for the home.
Yeah.
And by doing the dishes, they rinse them off, they put them in the dishwasher.
Boom. Yeah. They can reach. They know how to do all that. So
for sure.
They do that. That is not a paid chore, but they've been asking, especially my son, who's this he's going to be all right in life because he's like, so he, in the fall, he was like, Dad, can I rake leaves for money?
Yeah.
I said, absolutely, man. I would love some help with raking the leaves. And he goes, okay, great. How much? And I said, well, if you get all those leaves, I'll give you $5. And he goes, not worth it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I could see him saying
not worth it.
Not worth it. Yeah. He's a man who knows his worth.
He's like, I'll do it for 10.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, we're bargaining? We're bargaining now?
This is good. He's going to have the best of both of you, you and Melissa. Oh my, he is going to be a havoc for you.
We settled on 8.
Yeah,
so
of course you did.
He won.
Yeah.
He made his $8, and he was happy.
Well, what did he buy with it? He probably turned that into 38, didn't he?
He took it to the track.
Yeah.
He went to the track.
That's what he did. Yeah.
Right. He betted on the second horse.
Because he already had his cigarettes, so he didn't need those.
In the third race, and he doubled up. No, but it is funny, too, because now there will be times where I'll say, hey, it snowed, and I'll pay you guys money to help shovel the snow.
Sure.
Some days they're like, nah. And some days they're like, yeah, okay, how much? And so they do. It's funny how they start bargaining this way.
They sure do. Yeah.
All right, so we get to our guest because speaking of horses, she is champing at the bit to get out here. I don't know, I'm just trying to tie. I'm trying to tie it
speaking
together.
of horses, here is a real stallion. I don't know if that's
you've heard that phrase before, right?
Chomping at the bit.
It's not chomping at the bit, you see. It's champing at the bit.
Well, you sound like an idiot saying champing. I don't care which one is right. Because I thought, and I know she's shaking her head too, you sounded dumb. And you're not dumb, but you said champing.
It's champing at the bit.
The people have spoken.
The original phrase is champing at the bit. Yeah. Now, it has become colloquially agreed upon that we can say chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
But the original phrase comes from champing at the bit.
So raise your hand in here if you guys are happy that he said that. No hands are going up right now. No hands. I know she wants to say something.
Intro our guest so she can start talking.
Today's guest is Veronika with a K. Veronika Scott. You could call her the Coat Lady. She's also the founder of the Empowerment Plan. That's a Detroit-based organization you've probably heard about. If you didn't, they employ people experiencing homelessness to make coats, and they convert those coats into sleeping bags. So this story, it's about coats, but it's not about coats. It's about work. It's about dignity. It's about trust. And what happens when you build a system that believes that people are capable. Oh, man, I was on such a roll. People are capable of more. Veronika, hello. Hi, how are you? Thanks for being here.
I'm champing at the bit to join. I just want to know what champing means.
Yeah.
Give me a little context. I have to know.
Oh, wait, listen to this. It means chomping.
I think when a horse chews on the thing, that's called champing.
You know what's really dumb right now? Let's just look it up real quick.
Well, no, we don't have computers in our pocket. Veronika, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We're very excited to have you here and explain a little bit more about all it is, the amazing things that you've been doing. But first, Alan
how are you doing right now?
Great.
You're doing good?
Yeah. We can check that question off the list.
Good. Champing at the bit means to be impatient, eager, or restless to get started.
Like the horses. Yeah.
Yes.
They're champing at the bit.
They're restless.
To get going.
Champ means to bite repeatedly.
That's what I said, right? I said chewing on the thing. That's in their mouth.
I wanted to join this conversation when shoulder boulders were brought up. Mm-hmm. You know, the gym membership combos.
Yeah.
Really big fan for Planet Fitness there. But yeah, I was very, very excited to join, also especially learning your parenting hacks.
Yeah.
The two of you.
Well, we just kind of
some great ones. I love it.
Veronika, take us back to the beginning. Not of the nonprofit yet, but back to the beginning. You are a born and raised Michigander?
Yes.
Okay. Where?
So we moved around a lot, but actually, my grandparents are in Huntington Woods. I spent most of my life in Clarkston and like Royal Oak, Pontiac, and Davison, those kind of areas. So I moved around a bit.
So growing up here, and was this? I'd like to know about the origin story of the company, because was this a thing where you witnessed something that happened in your early life, or it's fine if it's not?
Oh, so no, actually, this is a deeply personal project for me because I grew up in a situation of homelessness with my family. So that's why we moved around constantly, was because having stability, evictions, things like that, having to live with family, having to bounce from place to place and not sure if we're going to stay in one place very long. That was how I grew up. So I remember, my two siblings and I, we were in a 1-bedroom apartment. So 5 of us, 1-bedroom apartment. I was sleeping on the couch. All of my stuff could fit in my backpack. That's how I went through high school. And so I've spent a lot of time moving across different cities and spending time with my mom growing up, like going from, one case manager in Pontiac because she was also diabetic and she struggled with mental health and unemployment. And so you go from one place and then she would get sent to another place and then sent to another place. So that was how I was raised. And so that's why I ended up creating an organization that is about helping those individuals that I really wish it was my parents that I could have been helping, especially in the beginning. It was like creating an opportunity I wish my family had had.
This came to be in college.
Yes.
Right? You initially, this was just a college project.
It was just a class project.
Right?
Yes.
So when you actually started, what did you have hopes for it? Or was it just like checking a box, getting an A? Obviously you have some personal, had a personal appeal to you. But like, what were your grand ideas from the get?
I think I didn't have grand ideas in the beginning. I think so for me, I went to College of Creative Studies and I wanted to go to CCS to make money. I wanted a different life. I wanted to go work in New York, be a product designer, do the insides of dishwashers and toasters and things, like, really sexy stuff.
Sure.
And
Actually, that is, to me, you are speaking my language. I love a good dishwasher. So we could go, could we throw out the entire outline?
I could talk about refrigerators and like the best, like nobody needs the water thing on the outside.
I don't have one.
See, same.
Yes.
Same. The
Wait a
amount
minute.
of research I did for my fridge was weeks and weeks.
See, I
My
knew we were
husband
going to
was
have
very
something.
Proud.
I knew we would have something, Rebecca.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Veronica.
Rebecca.
I'm trying to get.
Rebecca.
Who is
I just looked at something. Veronica, my apologies.
You can leave if you want to. I would understand.
I'm gonna
I
storm
would
out
not
with
hold
my
it
flavored
against
coffee.
you.
Veronica, I knew we were going to have this connection.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen.
Can you
for
clear it
Rebecca.
up for the rest of us, Rebecca? Is the water's on the inside? So it's a water dispenser on the inside.
Because of the germs, and it gathers stuff, and it's not good, and it breaks, and that's a thing.
It's crusty.
Yes.
It's always crusty.
It
So we're
always
talking about the
breaks down,
water
and-
and the ice dispenser that
Yes,
everybody
and
has
then-
on the outside.
and
That's an
not
option.
everybody. Not
I didn't even know
everybody.
this was an option.
You don't.
You guys
We
don't. I've known you for how long, and you've never given me this advice.
Oh, I would talk to you about your appliances any day of the week.
One extra failure point, too.
Exactly.
One extra point
Everybody-
of failure.
But wait, why is it not a point of failure on the
shoots ice
inside?
out.
I'm very confused. If it's still on the inside, why is that not a point of failure?
Because they separate it so that you have ice in the freezer, and then you have water in the thing, the just one filter thing that you just clean a pitcher.
So it is
the whole
no ice dispenser. Okay, understood. Where did this passion come from? For you, not you,
It's
Derek.
weird.
I don't care.
I remember making a presentation in a Spanish class in high school where I had to talk about the thing I wanted to do when I grew up. And it was industrial design, and no one knew what that meant, and it was very weird, especially in Spanish. So it was extra strange to be like, I'm really passionate about weirdly specific products, and I could talk to you about this all day long. And so I also love, don't get me started on like industrial machines, manufacturing. I can nerd out for days on that alone. But I was looking at colleges. This goes way back. I was in high school. I wanted to get out of my situation. I wanted to go make money, and I didn't want to be a starving artist because that was the reputation of like studying fine art. And I remember going to CCS, and there's one guy, his name was Terry, and there was a like, oh, here's this program, and we go and we work for all these fancy companies, and we make all these cool things like cars and sneakers and like water bottles and like whatever. And he pitched it so well and was like, this is for the super competitive, like the best artist people that want to like go have an awesome life living in New York, being a fancy designer. I was sold.
I want to meet Terry.
I was sold from that second. I was like, all right, this is my future. This is what I want. I want to design these things, and that was it. And it turned out it matched really well because I could nerd out about like rotational molding and like all that stuff all day long.
So this sounds like you had a passion. Have a passion.
Yes.
You
Never
do
stopped.
have this passion.
Never stopped. It's weird.
But
Yes.
then this fork in the road, was it a fork in the road? I mean, I know it was a project that started the empowerment plan.
Yeah, it's still a product that is that was what it began with. But I think, it's product design inception is like, what if your product isn't the most important thing of the product?
So it does go hand in hand.
It does go hand in
Okay,
hand. How is your
okay.
product used out in the community? What happens to it over time? Like how people have modified our sleeping bag coats and used it and changed it over time is the coolest thing in the world. Hearing stories from somebody that's like, by the way, did you know that your coat sleeping bags are great for spider bite prevention? I'm like, what? That's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Okay.
We hear that a lot in California. And we're like, really? So it's wound care, really good for individuals with disabilities that are in like wheelchairs. It's very accessible. And I didn't know that when I designed it in the beginning, and certainly not as it's evolved over time, but it is fascinating how things change.
Wound care.
Wound care.
to elaborate on that?
Yes. I could, again, so cool, very cool programs that exist that are called like street medicine programs. They go out and like harm reduction. They help with like giving Narcan to people, like clean like taking care of needles and keeping safe injection sites and things like that, working with people that struggle with addiction on the streets. So these are incredible teams, worked with many different ones across the country. And when somebody has an injection site, there's currently kind of a new vet tranquilizer that's going around that really will destroy the injection site. It will kind of eat away at the injection site. And so if you're trying to recover and you're trying to help somebody like heal, having a clean and dry wound site is hard when you are homeless, when you are on the streets. To keep it clean and dry is tough. And so they see these individuals once a week. They try to give them bandages, all the things that they could possibly use. But if you're sleeping, if you're rough sleeping, if you're sleeping in an abandoned house, if you're sleeping in your car, like those things, it's tough to control. And so what they've said is that if you're able to keep like a leg injection site or an arm injection site clean and dry, which our coat and our sleeping bag does, it helps with healing.
I see.
Didn't know that. Fascinating. But that's just part of like, as a product designer, it scratches that itch for me of like, wow, that is really cool how this has been modified.
You guys gave away your 100,000th coat.
Yes.
As of late.
Oh, we just made it.
You made it
this past week.
100,000th coat, and are you still modifying the design? Something? Yeah, obvious. Dumb question.
No,
of course you are.
No, some people like, oh, it's done. It's perfect.
No, but no. After knowing you for 12 minutes, no, I know it's not done.
Must.
Yeah.
We must change it again.
Start
like
from
what
scratch.
else? What other things do we get? Like, and also like the team that makes it every day, they're so much better at sewing than me, but they have ideas how to improve things constantly.
Can we back up just a second? So this was a college project.
Yes.
And then, so a lot of college projects that I did, I finished it and then I forgot about it forever with no intentions of ever coming back to it. Yeah. How do you take it from like, hey, this got me an A, but now I actually want to make it. I want to actually do it, and I want to do it full time, and I want to make a career out of it.
I think it definitely wasn't one step. I talk about that a lot, like going from zero, like the idea to like a thing is very hard. From like 0 to 1 is like the hardest step because there were so many things that I didn't think I was starting an organization by any means. I thought I was just continuing a project. If that makes sense. It was like still a class project in my mind. It was safe. So if I failed, it was like, oh, well, I just didn't do well with this iteration or this version. So
at this point, was it your funds? Did you have other funding?
So it was my funds from like odd jobs. And then so the class ends and I now have a street name in that area. Like I was known in that area around NSO, which is like the MLK and 3rd area. And I was known as the crazy coat girl. Or just the coat lady, depending on, or Rebecca, my alter ego.
I wish I would have never looked at my phone right before I started talking.
My alter ego, Rebecca.
Named in my head.
Happy. That's the best thing that happened to me all week.
Happy.
So embarrassed.
She really likes appliances too.
Yeah, she does.
Rebecca does.
I'm going to find a Rebecca. I'm going to reach out and find a Rebecca.
We're going to find one through this podcast.
Yeah, we are. Okay. Veronika, please continue.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Nice job.
If you take me off, I will go.
No, I'm sorry.
And so
part of me thought I was going to edit that out, but now we've talked about it 100 times. It's
you
stuck.
can never edit it out.
It's stuck.
So at this point, the class project is over, but I am still, because of how I did research and how I designed the coat, was I spent 3 days a week, every week at this warming center, NSO, the Toonami Center. Love them. It's an incredible organization. I've worked with them for so long, and I spent time there. And I ended up having people coming up to me and be like, hey, like I had a clipboard with like names on it. They're like, okay, I hear you're the coat lady. Like, when am I going to get a coat?
But like, how many have you made at this point? It had to be a handful.
Like 10.
Yeah.
And it took me like 80 hours with my mom to make one, and they were rough.
You hand stitched them and everything?
A home sewing machine.
Sure, but still.
So not exactly hand stitched, but I also wanted them to be a coat tent. And so I used orange construction fencing to try to get it to pop up as a tent, and it never panned out. And I used a bunch of old recycled fabrics and materials, and it was really rough and weighed about 23 to 25 pounds for a coat, which is very heavy. The first person who tried it on was a very petite woman, and she couldn't stand up inside of it. So, and then also when you laid it on the ground, because of the black trash bag, the first bit of feedback I got was like, oh, I'm not going to sleep in that. It looks like a body bag. And I was like, oh, noted.
You gave me a trash bag. No thanks.
You gave me a trash bag that had 5 different old wool coats that I bought from Value World, seam ripped and Frankenstein sewed back together. So not only was it heavy, it was also smelled like 7 people and was so weird and failed at this tent thing. They're just like, I showed up there like, I'm sure like your kids do with like a macaroni noodle painting.
Yes.
So proud of this heinous thing that I had created that had a bunch of broken needles in it because I'm stitching this on a home sewing machine. So it breaks constantly. And so at this point, I'm showing up with this thing that looks so rough, so proud of myself. Like, look at what I made. I made this thing. And they're like, oh my God. It's like very well made. Like, oh, okay, this is nice. But 1, it looks like a body bag. And 2, I can't stand up inside of it. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
noted.
In the movie of your life, this is the montage scene, right?
Yes.
Where it's like
I'm going back to the
yes.
sewing machine.
It's a lot of different ideas until you come out. You know, I'm thinking of the first Iron Man movie when he like makes his first suit and then he perfects it later.
That's exactly how I think about this. Yes, Iron Man.
Sure.
But this is okay. So you're going through, but you're making connections with people. So this is probably the part. If I had to put myself as a fly on the wall, you're meeting these people, and it's turned into from a project to like these are real life people that I can actually help.
And at the time, I didn't think of it as many people. I didn't think of it as like this is going to reach 100,000 or this we're going to work around globally. It was like, okay, here are 10 people. I had a spokesperson at this point, like after 3 or 4 prototypes. His name was Pee Wee. He had been on the streets for many years. And he was like 5'2", very deep voice. And he would walk around with me everywhere. And we had a clipboard, and he would like, his name was number 1 for receiving a coat. And then he would put other people's name. And we had about like 10 or 11 names on the clipboard. We're like, okay, this is how many coats we got to make. And these are the and like, I would bring versions back, get feedback back from people. And so the class project is over, but I had already promised to be back for these 11 people to make these coats.
So you're spending 80 hours on each coat that are, some of them are garbage, and you're perfecting it, and you're doing this at this point just out of the goodness of your heart. I
think it's like, I don't even want to describe it as the goodness of my own heart because it makes it seem like I'm doing more than I am because it wasn't anything at the point. It's like scratching an itch as a designer, like, oh, I want to like keep making this better.
Okay.
It's not, it wasn't like this.
Because you seem like an angel to me, but it was totally selfish.
It was very selfish.
Yeah.
It was fix this thing, like, ooh, I can make it a little better now, and then I'm going to make it another little better. And it was so much fun and enjoyable to talk to real humans because a lot of what design is now is just on your computer. You're not really interacting with a lot of people. Everything I had done existed on a hard drive. And so it was great to be out there talking to people. I'm like, oh my God, this is a real human that thinks this really could matter.
The 3 of us in this room know exactly what you're talking about, but I feel like there could be somebody listening saying, I still don't understand what the product itself is.
Yeah.
Can you really break that down?
Absolutely. So like I said in the beginning, it was very rough. And we have done many iterations since then. So now it is a water-resistant kind of coat, oversized coat. We use the same materials as like a Carhartt logging coat. It's a 500 denier Cordura that is water resistant treated. And then a hollow fiber polypropylene interior that's the insulation that's like a Thinsulate that you would see in other coats as well. And it goes below 0. So that is the basis of it. It's just a very warm winter jacket that comes up to your nose, so you don't need a scarf. It uses Velcro instead of zippers because zippers break very easily. And then if a zipper breaks, the whole garment is dead and you can't use it. So Velcro can be used for many years and cleaned. And then what is very different about what we have is there is a pocket in the back. It looks like a giant pocket, but it folds out and we call it the foot bag. But that is the sleeping bag part of the jacket that comes out and that folds out that you can slide your feet into and then close the front of the coat on top of. And so then it becomes a full sleeping bag. Now, this foot bag can also be just detached and used as a bag. So if you don't need to use it as a sleeping bag and you just want to put stuff in as storage to also stay dry, to stay clean, you can use that. And then especially in the off season, so summer, things like that, what are you going to do with this if you don't have a place to store it? It rolls up into the over-the-shoulder bag when not in use so that you can carry it with you and you can physically wear it and use it for something else, even in the non-cold seasons.
And it rolls up, it's about the size of like a yoga mat.
It's like a puffy yoga mat.
Sure.
Puffy yoga mat.
Right, but very transportable,
Yeah. And
easy to move.
Under 5 pounds. Very important note there to go from very heavy.
I believe the initial range you said was from 3 to 24 pounds.
Yeah, it was 23 to 25 pounds. Yes, it was very heavy.
That's exactly what Alan curls, anywhere between 3 and 25 pounds.
Depends on the day.
It depends.
Whatever.
25 pounds. Yeah.
So at what point did you like, because now, I mean, obviously you haven't been making the coats for a while. What was that trend? Like, how did you make the shift from project to empowerment plan? Or was that the name from the beginning?
It was the name of the class project, and I didn't think of it as a name of an organization.
Yeah.
I just slapped it on the name of the project. The title went on the little 11 by 17 printout.
Oh, so you stole it. Great.
That was my project. So
yours.
It was
I thought, okay.
No,
okay,
I didn't take it from anybody else. It was still mine. Wow.
Keep up, Rebecca.
Sorry, I know.
You're Rebecca now.
Yeah,
Dang,
the name is
I was doing
transferred.
so good.
You're the Rebecca. So that was the title I gave the class project, because when I was leaving the shelter, right as the project was over and I was coming up with like version number 12, 15, whatever it was, a woman on the way out who I'd seen kind of in and out occasionally started yelling at me. She started full on screaming. She was like from the corner of the hallway, and I walked up to her and I was really surprised. I had seen her, but I didn't know what I had done to like upset her. And we talked, and she's like, look, I don't need a jacket. I need a job. What you're doing is pointless. I was like, oh, okay. Feedback received. And I think at that point, because it was I'm still in college, I'm still gathering information for this like product. And I'm just like, to hear that the product wasn't the thing that mattered was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if there was a way I could hire people. And I had never been on the other side of an interview table. I never hired anyone. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know what you had to do. But I knew the basic math of like, okay, if you need to hire people, you need to have money to do that, to pay them.
Sure.
And so that's how I started trying to figure out how to do that. Was like, okay, in order to get money, I need a business plan. And I just Googled business plans a lot.
Yeah.
And the first business plan was very pretty. I went to art school, so it was a beautifully done 5 sentences total, all photos. It was like 15 pages of pictures and a very tiny spreadsheet in the back that said we needed $1,600 to operate for a year. It had nothing in the budget. It had just sewing machines, no thread, no needles, no people, no fabric, no nothing.
Okay.
So it was a really good business plan.
Right. Yeah, great. Fantastic.
Great business plan.
I'm sensing sarcasm.
Yes.
Okay.
Heavy sarcasm. Like no one, like I tell this story now, people like immediately laugh. They're like, oh, that's ridiculous. Like no one did when I built it the first time. But I'm like, you should have.
Like, I hear you say all of these things. Like, surely were there times when you wanted to quit? Like when you feel like I could imagine somebody who feels like they're doing something, making the coats, and then to hear feedback like, get out of here, you're not doing anything.
That probably would have broke me.
I could see that either breaking someone or maybe even making them spiteful, like, oh, well, I was doing something fine. I'm going to take my ball and go home. Like,
I'm going to take my ball.
You know, like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's
Like,
true.
how was that for you? Was it easy? Did you struggle at all? I mean, you're a human.
I am a human.
think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think certainly there were moments that were very, very hard and that I struggled through. And I think I struggled when it came time to actually looking at this like as an organization and not in the safe space of like, oh, this is just a class
Sure,
project,
yeah.
whatever.
It's abstract.
I'm like, I had hired 3 people by the time I left college, and I was still thinking of it as a class project. And people are like,
That's probably a good
actually
disconnect
not
to have,
anymore.
though.
It
you know?
was a safe,
Yeah.
disassociated thing.
Yes.
Like there was a barrier. It's not really like a business.
Sure. Low stakes, everybody.
It's low stakes, and it's like, no, it's fine. It's like it's not there yet. And I remember thinking, I'm like, okay, so now I got to go get I'm going to college to go do this thing. I'm going to go work at this company and work at some company in New York, like the IDEO or Smart or something like that. I'm going to go work for one of these fancy design firms. And thinking, like, okay, this is what I've worked for. This is the reason I went to art school. I want to go make money. I'm making 0 money on this other thing. This is just a project.
You're actively losing money.
Actively
Yeah.
losing money doing this. And I was like, oh, that's just a project. It's not a real thing yet. And I remember somebody kind of sitting me down, one of my grandparents' friends, was like, you have to make a choice. She's like, you're coming up on graduating. Like you're 6 months from graduating now. And the story at this point of me making these coats had gone viral. So that was like a very important thing. It blew up. It was wild. So I was getting fan mail and hate mail and death threats. It was wild, fun times. So starting that, I'm like, okay, this is a very weird inflection point. I'm about to graduate. Do I go live the life that I thought I wanted and that I was, I've been working towards for so long? Or do I do this when I don't even know what this is yet? She's like, okay, you have 3 choices. Maybe a company will take this on. Like maybe a company will want to acquire this. I was like, there's 3 of us in a utility closet of a shelter. We make 2 coats. Nobody wants this. Like there's nothing there to want to take yet. So I knew that was not an option. What to acquire? There was nothing to acquire. Second thing, she was like, well, you can come back later. Like go work for a while. This will always be there. Like, come back in 10 years or so. And I'm like, I don't know who I will be in 10 years. I certainly, I have to either finish something or I'm dropping it forever.
Sure.
Like, there's 2 speeds. Like, complete it or never come back to it. It's like, I know myself enough that that's not going to happen. If I'm going to go do something else, I'm just going to go do something else. And then the third option, she was like, well, then you do this. You fully, you graduate and you spend all of your time and energy making this work. And it took me 6 months. It took me months to make that choice. And it was not an easy, okay, I'm just going to give up these jobs and trying to convince my grandparents that if I got a job offer that I would turn it down because I was broke and living with them. It was upsetting for them.
Sure, right,
and
yeah.
tough for me. But that was a hard thing to sit with and digest. Oh, I guess I'm going to try this.
I suspect it was exponentially hard given your background. And for the first time in your life, stability is within your grasp.
Yeah.
And you had said how important that was to you, and to look at it and close that door for the time being and say, I'm going to go do this thing that I'm not sure has stability, that I might not make any money.
Yeah.
That was probably insanely difficult.
It was terrifying, very scary, and also kind of it was weird because it was all right, I already know, what's the worst that could happen? I try this out. Well, I'm already broke.
Sure.
I already live with my grandparents. I don't really have a ton to lose at this moment trying to make it work. So worst case, I try this and it doesn't pan out. Then I guess I'm still broke and still living with my grandparents. At the end of the day, I know I was raised in kind of someone else's rock bottom situation. I know what that feels like, and it's not going to be that. So whatever I have is better than what I experienced. And so I know that whatever I'm building, no matter what, is still I'll still have my college degree. I'll still be able to maybe I won't get that same job, but maybe I'll get a different job if this doesn't work out. And so I was like, all right, well, this is it. And I remember the day after I graduated going to work, and I felt like I was pretending, playing at my laptop doing
Sure,
emails.
yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing? What is my job? Do I show up at 9? Do I show up at 12? What do I do? What is this?
So, okay, that's where we're at now. Mm-hmm. How does it go from that to the current stage? I mean, so first off, what year?
13 years.
Yeah, what year was that? What year was that?
That was 2012. That was January of 2012.
And that was after you got yelled at for only bringing coats? At that point, the idea of having folks make the coats?
That was a year after getting yelled at. And I started hiring a few people from a shelter.
How are you paying these people? Oh, you're hiring. Okay.
Because we were underneath this nonprofit. We were underneath the Cass Community Social Services. So we're a subsidiary,
Sure.
we're underneath an umbrella. It's one piece of paper you file with the IRS saying this is a project we're doing. And so any donations that would say the Coat Project or Empowerment Plan, if somebody knew the name of the organization. But the story, like I said, went viral. So early on.
Yeah.
The first article ever published about Empowerment Plan was in the Free Press. And the first line was a $2,000 coat for the homeless. And the author had asked me, the journalist had asked me how much money I had put into this thing at this point. And I said, well, about $2,000. There was my money I had put in, and then there was some early dollars that we got from Carhartt, which was around $1,600, which is the budget that we had for that year. I was like, okay, this is how much we had put in. And then the story blew up because people wanted to talk to the crazy woman making couture coats for people experiencing homelessness.
Oh, Lord.
So they were like, who is this lady making $2,000 coats for people that don't have like, it went bananas.
Is it true that no news is good news? Like in the worst way, or did it help you?
It helped.
It did. Okay.
It did. It was because I could correct it and be like, it's not actually $2,000.
Gotcha.
It's
Yeah.
like,
But we would like some of your money.
it was like,
Right.
it was
yeah.
like $50 at the time. I was like, it's this much money. And I was able to correct it. And it was just like baptism by fire, learning the hard way how to handle that and being grilled and questioned. And then I would get people like hate mail, like I said, just like, what do you think you're doing, you crazy person? And I would able to be like, write back and be like, but this is what we're actually doing. So it taught me a lot about our message.
But now so in the early stages,
Yeah.
you're making coats.
Yes.
You're hiring people from the shelter. You're fundraising. You're developing business plans.
Yeah.
Like you're full in running a company now
Yes.
with everything that comes along to it that you did not go to school for.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was,
How was that?
It was a mess. I was like a chicken with my head cut off, wearing like a BCBG strappy pencil skirt, just running around from meeting to like just pure chaos. I was just trying to answer emails and simultaneously like meet with people and just everywhere. All that, like I look back at that time like, oh, she just needed to stop with the coffee. She needed to sit down, put the 5-hour energy away.
Needed a vodka.
And
is what
she just
needed.
needed to slow down a little.
At what point did you stop calling it a school project? Had it been at this point?
It was
you did
around
finally?
this time.
Yeah.
And so, it was serious. We had our space in what was Pony Ride at the time in Corktown. That was Phil Cooley's building that he purchased and turned into an incubator. And so that was really exciting. So we were the first tenant there, and we were making coats and responding to the emails and hiring a couple people, like hiring somebody off of Facebook to come teach sewing. And like,
Out of curiosity, the woman who yelled at you, did you hire her?
so unfortunately, this is a very common thing. She passed away pretty soon after that incident, and so did Pee Wee, who I was very close with, and so did quite a few of the people that got housed but had been displaced for a very long time. So they had been, like Pee Wee had been on the streets for 15 years consecutively. So not like a single night off. And then he got an apartment with his girlfriend, and all those health concerns that you push to the side because you have to, because you're just surviving, they come up when you're finally like relaxed enough to your body, it catches up with you, and it's really, really tough. It's a horrible thing. And that's why for us, it's like, how do we hire people sooner, like quicker and quicker and quicker, so that it's less of a harder transition to becoming stable.
Is that something that you do intentionally, is you try to hire people that do struggle with housing?
So we now, our big focus is hiring individuals that are either currently homeless or have a history or high risk. So maybe their parents, they grew up in a situation of homelessness. Maybe they just got housing and they need that stability. They need that income. So we hire individuals from shelters across the city. We have a dozen different partners. We still work with NSO. We work with COTS. They're just like some really incredible nonprofits that we hire from, and then they're employed with us for about 2 years before going on into other jobs. So they're working with us 5 days a week. They're employed. While they're making the code about 60% of the time that they're paid. The rest of the time is for wraparound services. So like I talked about with growing up with my mom, driving from place to place, that's very common. Like you are ping-ponged around a city to just address some basic barriers. They did a study that said a single woman to get out of poverty in Chicago needed to go to 72 organizations. And so it's brutal. And I don't even know 72 organizations. And so how do you make that better? So we bring other nonprofits on site. So GED classes happen on site during paid time. We do workplace interpersonal skill development, financial health and wellness, coaching, like one-on-one budgeting, coaching, debt reduction, helping with, records and expungement, like all those things happen during paid time. And so those are the things that we like to do and help people with while they're with us before they go into the next job.
It is not easy to get access to benefits. It is a tricky situation. It is it is a loop. Sometimes it feels like a loop that you cannot untangle.
It's broken.
Yeah. I think for a lot of folks, who don't deal with this population that have never maybe struggled with housing, there can be sometimes like like a guilt involved. Sometimes you just walk, if you see folks who are maybe panhandling, there can be a guilt. Like sometimes you don't even like want to look at them because you don't know what to do, and you feel like, what's the biggest misconception about this population that you've come to find in your time?
That's such a good question because there's so many different ones. Like I think the biggest one that I hear about is that same conflict like happens to everyone all the time, no matter age, no matter where you're from. Like that just stretches across the experience of like, okay, I see this person and they obviously like need support, need help. I don't know what to do. And one of the biggest misconceptions that I see is like they're assuming that all people that are experiencing homelessness, that are displaced, are there for the same reason. In their mind, they obviously have done something wrong. They're struggling with addiction, their mental health, they're criminal. Like, there's just immediate assumptions that our brain makes, again, for safety. It's like, well, I could never be that person because obviously they've done something wrong and I've done something right because I am sitting in my car right now and I have a car and I have this life. I don't think people like to recognize how close they are to homelessness at any given moment. And I think what happened in 2000, like with the Detroit going through bankruptcy, like, everything that happened with COVID and unemployment, like I think that people have realized like, oh, one missed paycheck or something happening with my home, like it burning down, all of a sudden you are in a situation of being displaced and you are experiencing homelessness. And so I think that idea that there's just like, oh, top 5 reasons why people are homeless, or this is why this person is there. You have no idea. It's a very human thing. Like everybody's story is so different.
So different.
Our brain connects dots that may not exist.
Yeah, you make the
all.
assumptions.
A lot of the things I'm hearing from you are the same things that we heard. We interviewed Maggie Kane, who runs a restaurant down in North Carolina called A Place at the Table, and it is pay as you go. And she started it initially because she knew a lot of the homeless population didn't have access to a warm meal. And she said, everybody just deserves that. Like as a basic human function, we deserve to eat food at a place where people aren't judging us. There's no questions asked. Says, hey, you're a human. Here's something to eat. It feels like there's a similar ideology here of like, hey, you're a human. You deserve a warm coat. Hey, you're a human. You deserve access to this.
Or being treated as if you are human. And I think this is a big thing when you talk about like that struggle when people have when they're like, oh, I don't want to even look at you because of my discomfort. I can't look at you. Not because of their discomfort. You're just like, it's out of your own issue there, which is that guilt. But then you end up treating somebody as if they're part of a landscape or if they're not really human anymore. They're not really there. And so I think the little things to do is like acknowledging somebody, talking to, like, yes, if they're talking to you, like, look, I just don't have, like, or if you're giving money, you're giving gloves, you're giving food, whatever it is, just kind of like giving it and not expecting control over it.
Yeah,
right.
And just be like, you're going to do whatever you need to do with this.
There's money, go do this with it because this is what you need.
Yeah, like just do whatever you need to do to make your life a little bit better in this moment. But if I can't, just also treating you like a human that is here, like another person that I'm just going to say hi to. How was your day? How are you doing? I wish I could help.
What's your name?
Yeah, what's your name?
Right? Like that's a very human thing to do to somebody.
Hi, nice to meet you. What's your name? Mine's, Veronika, Rebecca. Nice to meet you.
Doesn't matter.
And so it's just
it's irrelevant.
Whatever it is.
We're going to forget it either way. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So just treating, I think that's a lot of what I saw when I first started, which was really interesting, is that people would either treat individuals experiencing homelessness as if, like, out of fear, because it's terrifying. They can't imagine being homeless. So then they're afraid of the people, not the experience. They're now afraid of individuals experiencing homelessness. And the second was like treating them as if they're like kids or criminals, like incompetent, like talking to a full grown adult as if they were 5.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, oh, do you need this? Do you want that? Like, it just immediately patronizing. And another thing I saw, which really shocked me, was a sandwich drive-by early on, which was a van was pulling up to the warming center, and they rolled down their windows and they slowed down to a crawl and tossed sandwiches out the window at people.
Oh, sure.
Sandwiches and bacon.
Like one of those hot dog guns at the ball game.
Yes.
Right. Got it.
Exactly. So they did that. They rolled down the windows and then just sped off. And
how
we're hitting people.
dehumanizing is
Yeah.
that?
don't you feel like you're now in a zoo as if you're an animal? Like they're so afraid
Funny how
of this
awkward we are.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I always wondered, I'm like, did people at the end of that drive, did they pat themselves on the back and
Of course
go,
they did.
Like,
Of course they did.
people were hungry and we fed them.
Yeah, look at us. We're good people.
We're good people.
Yeah.
We're helping people.
Yeah, they slept fine that night.
Yeah. Like, exactly.
Is this what drives you now?
Yes, among many things, I think the climate that we're in is really difficult. You know, more people are experiencing homelessness than ever before. Like the number is 770,000 people are experiencing homelessness. That's the highest number we've ever had since counting. Like I can tell you when I first started, it was like 653,000 people. And that was the highest number. And that was a big shock. And so I think for me, it's like, how do we get better? How do we treat people more like humans? And then also like, we have to function in an ecosystem. Like Empowerment Plan doesn't exist alone by itself. Like we have other organizations. We all get to do what we're best at. And we really help people that way. And we collaborate, we communicate. And those are the things that make the big difference. And so for me, those are the things I'm passionate about now is like, how do we scale that up and how do we continue to support that?
When you're passionate about something like this and the need is literally endless at
Yes.
this point, how do you know when to stop and give Rebecca a break? I'm sorry, I can't stop. I know. I can't stop.
You make one mistake in 12
you
years.
never live it down. 12 years that's an amazing record. I've made so many
his wife will
mistakes
sign
in
off
12
on that.
years.
Yeah.
First mistake in 12 minutes.
I was like, I have made
know.
so many mistakes
I know.
over
We're
12
killing
years.
the joke, but I can't help it, and I'm not going to stop.
Like, I think it's like, yes, burnout is very real. And like my job has changed completely over the years. I'm not like fixing sewing machines. I'm not doing payroll or writing. Like that's not.
Does part of you miss it?
No. Oh my God. You don't want me near payroll. Like our HR director would be cracking up right now. I'm going to have her listen to this. Our VP of HR would be like, no, you don't want her doing payroll.
No. Okay. No.
There was mistakes. You don't want me in spreadsheets. I can kind of do it, but like, again, that's not what I'm the best at. I have amazingly talented people that are much better at that than me. And so I think that's the part, giving back to me.
Yeah.
It's just like there's ways to do that, and there's ways to like this is the long haul. Like it's not a sprint. This is not like a company that's going to have an IPO and then you're like I'm just going to work endlessly for 2 years and then I'm out.
Sure.
And I get a big check. Like that's not how this works. And you have to understand that this is a marathon of work and like working with people in the long run, and that you're in it for the small wins that you see.
Does any of you look at New York and that job and pine for it? Or do you look back now with the 12-year lens and say, no, this is exactly what I was supposed to do?
Oh my God, it's the best thing. Like I didn't miss out on anything. One, I think I would be a very different person. And two, like the opportunities I've had, like I struggle with people like, oh, you've sacrificed so much for this. Like, do you not understand? I've been able to travel the world doing this. I've been able to talk to this. Like I get to have meaning built into my job every day. I get to have like the reason I get up and do this is very, very clear. Like a direct connection to it every morning. Like that is awesome. I don't have to search for that. Like this is built into what I do. And I get to go talk to amazing people and meet incredible, like do all these things all the time. And so there's nothing I miss about that. And what's really funny is like 6 months after making the choice to do this full time, I was on a panel. I was flown to San Francisco to speak on a panel with the head of one of the companies that I'd always dreamed of working for, IDEO. And it was so funny and so surreal. Be like, okay, maybe I made the right choice.
Because you were on the same level as them.
I was on the same level as this massive company. Like it was just like, it was a very weird moment. I was like, maybe I did make a good
But could you
business
imagine how American fridges would look if you were
They would
under?
be
I mean, I don't
so
even
different.
know what they. I mean, it'd be.
You like water
I don't
coming
know.
out of somewhere else
Somewhere, yeah.
entirely.
Who knows?
Like the vegetable drawer. Who knows?
How do we feel?
I don't know.
What is the ideal temperature for the fridge and the freezer? Because you can change that.
Oh my God! Yeah, that would have been
because
so
you
exciting.
do know that,
It would
right?
be so yes.
Did you know that?
Yeah, you can change. You can change
I do.
it.
You can change it. You don't want
Okay.
it too cold. You want to freeze.
Yeah,
your
you don't want to
fridge
freeze the
things.
stuff. You don't want
No.
to freeze the stuff.
No.
It's very important.
I saw the map in the office. All the places that your coats are around, not just the nation but the globe.
Yeah.
Tell us.
So we've done distribution in over 20 other countries. We're across the entire U.S. and all the Canadian provinces. And it has all been through word of mouth. that is what is wild. And over the last few years, due to like global supply chain challenges, we actually haven't been able to do much as we want to, as needed globally. Like we get a ton of requests from like disaster relief, refugee situations, and just it's so expensive to ship internationally. But at the same time, domestically, the demand has gone up so much. We actually do about 50% of our coats go on to the West Coast, which is crazy to think of. We're doing 13,000 coats this year. And if you think about all those coats going to the West Coast, more people die of hypothermia in California alone than the entire Northeast. And that's because they're not as prepared. Like they don't have as many warming centers or shelters or things like that. And a lot of people think, oh, I can go live on the beach there, when that's not really the case. And so that's just been like, I could tell you stories for days of like doing, that's like one of my favorite parts of the job is doing street outreach. I could tell you stories for days just about that.
What's next? We've got, unfortunately, we gotta wrap it up, but I want to know what's next. What's the next 5 years?
The next 5 years is tough because a lot is changing every 2 seconds overnight. Like you wake up and you're like, what happened? And so that is also, the funding landscape has changed dramatically too. And so I think for us, it's like the planning is difficult because we need the resources to do it. So we would love to expand hiring and be able to get more fellows into our program because there's a waiting list of people that want to get employed by us. So that's a big thing. And at the same time, we also have 4,000 coats on a waiting list right now because there's so many organizations that need the coats but don't have the budget. So I think the first things first is figuring out how do we meet the need of the moment, maybe with struggling for those resources when every nonprofit is struggling for resources, and figuring out how we can scale into another community. Like our plan had been to actually replicate our employment model and everything into other cities because we get a lot of requests to do that. And so we certainly want to do that. I think it's just figuring out, okay, what do we do to survive and continue our work now and then build on that.
And how can people, because I know there's going to be listeners that are like, I want to help, I want to donate, I want to do something. How can they get in touch with you guys?
People can find out more about Empowerment Plan or get in touch with us through our website at empowermentplan.org or our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. You can find us and reach out and we'll be happy to connect with you.
Well, are we good? I just can't. I'm going to say thank you, Rebecca.
Okay.
That's all. I
was going to give you one last chance to make a dig.
I have no other, Veronika. No other questions. I don't know if you had a heartfelt question. I don't want to interrupt it.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for being on the Weatherboys podcast, for doing what you're doing, for helping the community, for helping the world one coat at a time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You can listen to more of our Weatherboys content on Spotify, YouTube, and of course on the free Fox local app, where if you scroll down, the Weatherboys have our own section where everything is posted there. Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Yay.